Hey everybody! Today we're going to be making a holster for a Glock 43x. We're going to be using a prepped holster mold. We're going to be using Olive Drab KYDEX. This is going to be a fold over or taco style holster, and we're going to be using a drop style clip. So join along as we build a sheath for the Glock 43x.
So the first thing we're going to do is we're just going to lay our holster mold onto the KYDEX, and we're just going to mark out, giving us plenty of room around to work with, where we want to cut our KYDEX. Then we'll use a square to make sure that we get a nice straight cut, and then we will just snap the plastic. So that's the key with KYDEX. Once you score it, it's pretty easy to snap right after that. If you do have problems snapping it, just run your razor blade down it again. You might have to score it twice or a little bit more pressure the first time. And as you noticed, we scored on the front and broke from the front. The reason that we do that is if you do it from the back, when you actually get ready to break it, it'll go ahead and leave white marks on the front, at least stretch marks. You kind of want those marks on the back. So we're going to take our drop style clip and we're just going to lay it on the molding prop to see where we're going to want it to sit once it's on the finished holster. And then we're going to take our jig, based on where we want that, we're going to put it on the molding prop and tape it on. Be sure and get your tape as flush as you can. That way it doesn't leave any kind of bumps or anything in the KYDEX when you do form it around the mold. So we're going to go ahead and put our KYDEX in the oven here and heat it up. Generally anywhere, I mean, you could do 310 all the way up to 360, 370. Probably 320 to 350 is about the most common, but really what you're looking for is, if you'll notice that the KYDEX is kind of hanging off the front of that rack, when you see the front start to drop down. The way that the KYDEX heats is, first it'll start to lift up just a little bit, and that's not done yet. When it starts to then drop down, that's when you know you're about there. It'll be floppy in your hand. And it is hot, so you do want to wear gloves when you do this. I guess if you've got really tough hands, you can just work real fast. But it is definitely easier to do this with gloves on. I'm going to put it in our press. Wait for it to cool down.
Hey everybody, just a quick little break here to talk about the Holstersmith newsletter. If you make holsters, if you want to make holsters, if you do it for a living, if you do it for a hobby, it doesn't matter. You want to be a part of the Holstersmith newsletter. Here's why. Every week we send out a newsletter that's got our latest and greatest product, and it also has all of our specials. They are exclusive only to the newsletter. So if you want to get that information for you so you know what's going on, just click the link right here. Thanks.
And take it out. Now what we're going to do, we're just going to use our template again to mark the holes. Like I said, there is a dimple, if you look closely, in the KYDEX. However, there's obviously not one on the clip. So we're going to go ahead and mark where we want our holes, our holster. All right, now that we've got all our holes marked, what we're going to do here is we're going to go ahead and take off some more plastic. So we're just going to mark kind of where we want to get rid of it at, how we want it to look. And we're going to take it to our saw. And we're using a bandsaw here, but you can use a bandsaw, you can use a, just about anything. You can just hacksaw if that's what you've got. So if you don't have power tools, you can work around that. You can even score, although you have to be careful doing it, but you can even score the KYDEX again. And once you score it, you can then just snap it. You'll just have to kind of do one side of the holster at a time, whereas we're able to cut through both sides using the bandsaw. And of course, as always, make sure that you're wearing protective gear here. Eye and ear protection. We're going to set our clip on there where we want it. And you can kind of hold it off to the side so you can see where your holes are, and then slide it back over so you get an idea. And then you're just going to put the jig right over the top and mark the holes for your clip. And some people call this a loop, some people call it a clip. Those are pretty much interchangeable. You're just going to drill your holes into the holster and into the clip. You do want to use a KYDEX drill, not just a standard drill bit, because if you use a standard drill bit, it'll kind of bounce around the plastic and it'll mar it up and might not get your holes in the right spot. And we're just drilling our hole for our eyelet here. And then, as always, put the finished side of the eyelet on the outside. I'm just going to roll it. Smooth off some of the rough edges here. Get it down closer to the shape that we want. Go ahead and smooth everything out, get a nice clean finish. And now we're simply going to mount the clip on. One thing you can do if you really want to clean it up, even though it's going to be under the posts and the screws, you can take a little deburring tool and deburr the holes. In this case, we're using clutch post and some finishing washers and a flathead screw, but if you prefer to use a different type of screw or a different type of post, you're welcome to do that. And the other nice thing about using this is, if you noticed, our jig actually had 3 holes in it. So another option that you could have is to actually drill all 3 holes in both your clip and in the holster, and that would allow you some adjustability if somebody wanted to carry it a little bit deeper or a little bit shallower inside the belt. And there you have it. Now you have installed the drop style clip.
All right, well, that was fun. Listen, if you enjoyed the video today, take the time to like it. Also, if you would, leave comments. In fact, if there's particular videos that you'd like to see about certain holsters or certain types of attachments, just leave that in the comments for us and we'll see what we can do for you. Listen, if you didn't get to build this along with us today, it's all right. You can just click the link here and it will take you right to the website over at Holstersmith. You get everything that you need. Again, lastly, if you did really like the video and you want to see many, many more, just click the subscribe button because we're coming out with new videos every week. Thanks again for stopping by, and we'll see you soon.